Alright guys, I'm going to show you the basics of changing a tire. I have the spare tire on right now because I replaced the two rear tires, so I am going to put the new tire back on. The first thing I do is going to get out your jack and the parts to work it. There is a little tab underneath the car where the jack goes up against. It usually tells you an operator's manual, or there's a little picture on the jack. It will show you where to hook up your jack underneath the car. So I'm going to show you. If you're on uneven ground, I always carry a piece of wood or soft ground. This way it'll give it something to rest on. If you're on a flat surface, you don't need this. Always you want to move the car to a level spot, as level as possible. If you're on a hill, leave it in gear, put your parking brake on, but you don't want the car to move on you, that it'll knock over that jack. So I'm going to try to, I'm going to start the jack, and then I'm going to bring the camera over and see if I can get a shot of the jack where it goes on the frame of the car. This is important. You got to get in the right spot so you can lift your car safely and you don't damage your car. Now, before I loosen the lug nuts, I'm going to get the car a little bit up in the air. You don't want to pick that tire off the ground. You want it resting on the ground, that way when you loosen the lug nuts it won't put any strain on the drivetrain. So I'm going to see if I can get you close up of where this is, where it rests on the frame. Alright, you can see where it's on the frame. It's got that little extra support bracket reinforcement thing sticking down. That's where the jack goes under this 2020 Toyota Corolla. Okay guys, once you get the car up in the air on the jack, I use a little breaker bar, thick PVC pipe. I think this is schedule 40. You want to get a little thicker, but you want to start your lug nuts. You want to just break them loose. Breaker bar gives you a little more leverage. Alright, they're all loose. Now we're going to pick the tire off the ground. Picking up a little higher because the standard tire that goes on here is a little taller than the spare. Alright, so basically you're just going to get your lug nuts off. I always carry a pair of gloves in the car as well. If you're changing this on the side of the road, you want to try to get your far enough off the road so some idiot won't run into you while you're changing your tire. Very, very dangerous. You got to be really careful. I mean, if you want, you could drive to an exit ramp, or if you're on the street, pull into a parking lot of some store or whatever. That way you're out of traffic. Now, sometimes if this tire hasn't been removed in a while, it will stick to your spindle in there. You might have to knock it loose. Like this one, it's a little tight right now, so I'm going to knock it. There you go. There's your spare tire. Okay, we're going to install the regular tire, and I'm going to show you is that you're going to get into a sitting position, use your legs as leverage. Alright, so these Toyota Corollas, the tires are pretty light. But if you've got a full-size car, SUV, I'll sit down and I'll use my legs as leverage. And I'll lift the tire up onto the wheel studs. Use my foot as leverage as well. Okay. Now when you tighten these, you want to do it in a star pattern. And you only want to, while the tire's in the air, you only want to kind of hand tighten it. Maybe give a little bit of pressure on it. You're going to lower it down by halfway, put a little pressure on the tire, tighten them, then lower it all the way to the ground, then tighten it again. You want to do your final tightening when the car is sitting on the ground. So basically, you just want to get this started. You could wiggle a little bit to get the lug nuts in position. They're tapered at the end, so they'll kind of push the tire into the right spot. And you're giving it just a little bit of pressure on it. Okay, we're going to lower the car down, put a little pressure on the tires. Alright, the car is starting to come down on top of the shock, so it's pretty firm in position. And then you can give a good tight here. Now there's torque specs to torque this down, but if you're on the side of the road changing tires, I doubt you're going to be carrying a torque wrench with you. Okay, now we're going to lower all the way to the ground, and we're going to put the final tighten on it. After you drive the car for a day or two, you want to check your lug nuts again, make sure they're tight. Sometimes they loosen up, the wheel will move on you a little bit, and your lug nuts can loosen up. So after a day or two, go through them all and make sure they're really tight. And at that time, if you have a torque wrench, you can torque them down to spec. All right, so you got the full weight of the car on them. And now you're going to do the final tighten. Going in a star pattern. Right, basically they're on there, they can't be tightened anymore. Okay, and that is the basics of changing your tire. Pretty simple job. I've done it 1,000 times, but if you've never done it before, it's a good way to learn. So I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.